Good morning, and thank you for joining me. My name is John DeBuck, and I have the opportunity and privilege of volunteering with the Motherless Daughters Ministry. If you're just now joining me, this is the third video in a 5-video series on boundary settings. And I encourage you to visit our website under the 4M4U tab to view the other videos. I've had the opportunity to work in HR my entire career and have had also the opportunity to coach a variety of people throughout my 30+ years. And there have been some common themes that have been easily identifiable. However, the biggest theme is typically relationships. And I'm guessing that if I were to have the opportunity to have a conversation with each of you at some point in your life, and perhaps even currently, there's a relationship that maybe you're struggling with, or maybe that you have struggled with in the past. There are many things that go into the making, if you will, of an effective relationship. However, one of the most important components, in my opinion, is healthy boundaries. As I've shared in the previous 2 videos, most people struggle with either setting or maintaining healthy boundaries. As I mentioned in the last video, I want to share some specific thoughts with you around step number 5, which is figuring out how to begin. This is often a place where we struggle with many things. Perhaps a conversation that you know you really need to have. Maybe it's a super cluttered house, a relationship that you may feel is already in this state of repair or disrepair rather. Nearly all situations that I can think of require us to actually begin. So what I would like to share with you are 4 steps to actually beginning the setting of healthy boundaries. Step number 1, consider what you want for the relationship. As I had mentioned in the previous video, if you're looking for the other person to change, you probably need to revisit what you want to accomplish. I'm not saying people are incapable of change. However, the only thing that you have control over is how you respond to the situation. Last weekend, the ministry held a journey retreat in Milford, Ohio. Now, I could make 100 videos about all of the wonderful things that I witnessed at this retreat. However, I want to share with you something that our founder, Mary Ellen Collins, said at the retreat, and this is just permanently etched in my brain. She said, when your expectations don't meet reality, you can only change your expectations. So if you're looking to change the other person, the only thing that you really can change is yourself and maybe even your expectations. And in doing so, consider what is it that you really want out of the relationship. Step number 2, if in your answer to step number 1, maybe you've identified that you want the relationship and perhaps the communication within to be stronger, if you really in fact want those things, you want that healthy relationship, you want that healthy communication, do the behaviors that you are exhibiting mirror what you want? For example, if I say that I want a strong relationship with a loved one, and yet we get into a discussion, I'll call it, and if my behaviors are not mirroring what I want, which is what I said, I wanted to have a stronger relationship, a healthier communication style, if my behaviors don't mirror that in the moment, I need to step back and determine what my role is. Are my behaviors mirroring the type of relationship that I truly want to have? And in that moment, of course, I can step back and change my behaviors to match that response. Step number 3, double check your motive. When we establish boundaries in a relationship, it's generally so that we have this hedge of protection around us, if you will. And this hedge, in some form or fashion, is there to protect us. I would think that if your motive isn't a healthy one, again, I encourage you to go back to step number 1 and ask yourself, what do you really want for the relationship? Maintaining a healthy motive is going to be critical to having that healthy relationship, and it's critical to having healthy boundaries as well. Lastly, step number 4 of how to begin, Communicate to the person what your boundaries are as well as what your expectations are. I think this is oftentimes a step that we leave off. And I'm going to tell you, it's probably going to be pretty challenging for somebody to meet your expectations or to be mindful and respectful of your boundaries if those have not been communicated and people don't know what they are. Often, in an attempt to control a situation, we have a tendency to set physical boundaries. Perhaps we remove ourselves from the relationship physically. We don't make contact with that person. And don't get me wrong, this may be what might be called for. But again, I encourage you to ask yourself if you're getting the results that you want as a result of setting those physical boundaries. Please join me on May the 23rd, where we'll close out this video series by talking about the what now. So what happens once I've actually set the healthy boundaries and the clear expectations, and I'm still not seeing the results that I want? Until then, I encourage you to visit our website and check out the different services and support systems that we offer. And please reach out if there's anything whatsoever that we can do to support you. Thank you so much for joining me and spending a little bit of time with me. And I pray that you are well and that you are blessed. Thanks so much.